Right. So before I get into my work, as it were, or hopefully your work, I'm going to show you. I'm going to hopefully kind of get you to start thinking about stuff before you speak to anybody like me, because this stuff you should have already. So when you're setting your shop up and when you're going, sort of you're getting that process of the item being in your possession and going through your store and then to the customer. That in itself sounds like a simple thing, and you might come to somebody like me, or you might do this yourself and go, I'm going to make an e-commerce website to sell stuff to people, because that seems like that's the process. The difficulty is, and this is where a lot of the time I go into these and I take along my mobile brick wall and I bash my head against it. And it's a kind of I'm walking a fine line between saying to people, you need to get your shit sorted. And obviously I can't say that because they're paying me to build a website. But sometimes I feel like saying, get your shit sorted, then give me a call when you've done it. Because there are things you need to sort out, and things you need to get in place that I'm not going to. Well, I shouldn't be the one telling you to do this. So I shouldn't be the one telling you to work out how much you're going to have to pay the financial people, whoever you choose, PayPal or your bank or whichever one of the myriad of payment solutions you use. You need to know how much these are going to cost you and how much of your pie they're going to take. And then delivery as well. You need to work out how you're physically going to get the thing from A to B. How much it's going to cost, how much these things weigh, what packaging you need. Are you going to have to pay for better packaging? This kind of stuff. So you need to know the end-to-end stuff. Absolutely everything about how you're going to get from you to the customer, because there's a lot more involved in it than just the website. The website is the easy bit. I'm not going to deny it's the easy bit. The thing that allows people to kind of charge for this is that it seems difficult. It's actually easy, and you'll find that if you get into it, the difficulty is with you. It's not with me. my job's easy. I'm just building a website. You're the one that's physically getting all these things lined up. Once you've got all those, and this is kind of the thing that you should know before you come to me. Once you've got all those, that'll give you an idea of how much this actually costs. So I suspect, and if you're doing this, if you're selling stuff, if you're in this kind of business, you should know. I think it's called cost of sales, but I don't do that kind of stuff. You should know how much these things cost to make and how much. Do you know what I mean? So if you're saying, I sell them for a tenner, but they only cost me £1, so I'm making £9. I suspect you haven't factored in postage, the percentage that PayPal or Stripe or whoever want. You haven't factored in the time. You haven't factored in the amount of packaging. So you need to factor them all in, so before you start this that you can make money. Otherwise, it makes no sense. There is probably one other thing that you need to understand, and that's when you're producing an e-commerce website, most people will not buy from you, and I'll say the vast majority of people will not buy from you. And the figures, when you first look at them, the figures can be quite disheartening. So, for example, if you if you do an advertising campaign, some people would say that a 2 or 3% conversion rate is okay. 5 to 7 is good. 10% is great. And this is the only sort of time where 10% is a good figure. That's okay. And you should be tracking everything. You should track the number of people that put your item in their basket, the number of people that put your stuff in their basket but don't buy. If you're not prepared for it, you might have some sleepless nights over it, some tears. You might think, well, why have so many people put my stuff in their basket and not bought? That's just what people do. Just, in an average day, just think how many people walk past an item in a shop and don't buy it. You're just doing that, but on a grander scale. You're letting more people look at your stuff. So not many people are going to buy. So be aware of that. Don't think you're going to go online and every third person that looks at your stuff is going to buy it. They're not. Be prepared for that. Okay, if you're prepared for that, I'll tell you how you can do. I suppose we'll call it the a £10 punt. Yeah, I'm going to call this the £10 punt. Let's go. So now I'm not tied to one.com. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get any money. In fact, I might be able to get some money from them. I might be able to refer people. I don't know. I haven't tried. I don't really get it. I use one.com initially because they were cheap. That was the initial thing to because I was all about let's give this thing a go. Let's try this and see if this works. Because I suppose that you could talk forever, but just try it, see what it does. And one.com was a way of trying it and not having a massive outlay, and I'll show you what I mean. So this is one.com. This is their initial stuff, and there's our most popular packages. So this is a hosting starter package, and this is the far left of Arc. This is the lowest you can go for. If you get started on here, you'll see that. I can't spell pound. So I'm going to search. So £10punt.co.uk is available. So if I click on that, this is telling me how much it is. So for £10punt.co.uk, a hosting starter, a 25 gig of space for 12 months. That you can see the price there. They give a discount as well for the first year, so you get an idea of what the second year will be there and the first year. So for £10.80, okay, so this is the £10.80 punt. For £10.80, because there's always VAT. So it could have been the £9 punt if it wasn't for the blinking government. So the £10.80 punt. This is going to give me 25 gig of web space. And the thing with one.com is they don't care what you do with that web space. And what I mean by that is a lot of companies will say, here's some web space or here's a web address. Would you like to buy hosting? Yes or no? This is how much hosting costs. Okay. Would you like to buy email? This is how much email costs. And so on and so on and so on. One.com go, here's 25 gig. You cut it up how you want. If you want a website, fill your boots. If you want 50,000 email addresses, fill your boots. But you've got 25 gig. Crack on. That's what it is. Right, so I'm not going to register this, but it's very straightforward. You fill in the details, you pay your £10.80, and then you wait for the email to come in with the access to the control panel. Okay? Once you've got access to the control panel, I'll show you. Let me show you. Let me show you on one of my sites. Okay. So this is the control panel, and let me try and get to I've got quite a few going on at the moment. Let me try and get to a relevant one. Yeah. So the one I use for my kind of when people search for my name and stuff and go to a web address, so this is a hosting starter, a 25 gig of stuff. And this is the control panel you would get. These are all the things you could do with the website. So you've found your name, you've registered it, you've paid your £10.80, you've got a couple of emails, and those emails will say, here's a link to the control panel. Go to the control panel, set it up, set your do your password and all that kind of stuff. And this is where you would come to. This is where you start the ball rolling. Now, the first thing you should do here is go into mail administration and set up an email address. And I'm not going to, that it's straightforward. Set up an email address. Do that first. And when you use things later on, when you register for things, when you use things, then do that. So set that up. And I'd also maybe suggest you set up like I suppose like a spam catcher. So make an email address, call it say search or Google or SEO or something. So when you start submitting your site to stuff, you can use that email address to submit to sites, so it doesn't kind of mess up your other one. So you make an email address for your real one, shop at or support or whatever. Then make another email address that you're going to register with all these sort of free SEO and all that kind of stuff. So you're not getting kind of bombarded with that kind of stuff. So set up your email address first. Do that first, right? Because you're doing e-commerce, the second thing you do with one.com is down here called Manage SSL. So if you go into this here, you'll see here that managing SSL, mine is on. By default, it's off. So you click on, put a tick in the box to say that you agree to the terms, you click save. Now, this is where one.com is special, because they give you this for nothing. Because they're using a wildcard SSL certificate, because once you've bought it, you don't have to pay any more money for it. So they're kind of passing that on. And I would suggest that you if you're doing e-commerce, you have to be on SSL. You just have to be. And one.com, it's part of the package. So you turn that on, you click save, you put a tick in the box, you click save, and then you go and have dinner, because it takes a bit of time for that to get added to your site. So go and have dinner, go and do whatever you want to do, and leave it. And it might take a bit of time from when you've set this up for you to be able to turn SSL on, because this, they're setting things up in the background, as it were. So, set it up first, do your email, go and have lunch, come back, turn SSL on, and go and have dinner. It's not. It's maybe 10. It's maybe an hour's worth of work split up in a day, a couple of days. So that's the first thing. So we're set up. So you should now be able to go to your web address and type HTTPS in it, and that's what you're kind of going for. So you get the green padlock. The next thing you would do is on here. You've got here one-click WordPress, and this is where, when I click on that, this is where one.com will install WordPress on your site for you, and you don't have to do anything. You just click new installation. It goes through the bits and pieces. In fact, let me show you. So it goes, if you click on new installation, and you come up with this screen. Now, if I do nothing with this and click install, it'll put WordPress on the default position within my website. So it'll be, whenever you go to it, you'll come to this WordPress site. And obviously I don't want to do that because I've got stuff on mine. So what I would do, just to show you, click on this and you put I want it to be £10punt.andypaddock.co.uk. If you click on install, that will put WordPress onto the server, and it takes a bit of time. You'll get the standard WordPress stuff come up, and this is WordPress is a very quick thing to put in. Let me use my real name. And yes. So click continue. I'm going to leave that, but you shouldn't leave that. You should change that. Accept that. Click continue. This is now going to go off to the server and put WordPress in. Now, because this is one.com, you get kind of an additional screen. This is the additional screen that they put in, where they offer some templates, because they're all vying for for your kind of for your attention. I don't want these. I'm going to go to the dashboard. So I skip to the dashboard. So I have now got a website, and this is live. If I right click on here and open this in a new tab and just switch to this tab, this is what I've just created. This is the website that I've got, and you'll see that I've got a padlock. So this is a secure website, and that didn't take long at all. The next thing you would do is you go into plugins, go into add new. Now you get kind of the popular ones in here. If you start typing Woo, WOO, you hopefully get WooCommerce will come up somewhere. You might have to type it in. Oh no. So what we're experiencing now is the kind. In fact, yeah, it's a good time to describe it. The model that a lot of the companies that do plugins and themes for WordPress, the model they work on, and that is they kind of bombard the thing with their free version of a plugin that does X and Y. Now, the free version does X and Y. You have to pay a bit more for Z. Okay, in fact, WooCommerce has come up here. So here's the WooCommerce plugin. If I install that now, that's going to install the free version of WooCommerce. Now, the free version of WooCommerce will let you sell stuff, and and that's it. And if you're just selling stuff and you don't want any bells and whistles, that's what WooCommerce does. And it will integrate certain things. So, for example, you can put PayPal on it, you can put Stripe on it, you can put other bits and pieces on it. But if you want to go more technical, then sometimes you have to pay more. So, for example, if you wanted maybe a booking system on there, you could buy a booking system plugin for $79. There'd probably be a free version that did everything or allowed you to maybe have one or two bookings a day, but it would stop at that. So that's how they'll generally run. They will give you a free version, and then more functionality costs. And another quick point on that is that WooCommerce has got more than 1 million active installs, so lots of people are using it. So they've probably got it right. So what I would not do is fall into the trap of seeing something somewhere that you like, or your brother's aunt's daughter is doing a BTEC in computer science and she thinks that this and that, and you suddenly decide, yeah, that's what I want for my store, and you come to me and you tell me this, and I just die inside. I really do. Because they've got this shit right. So don't fiddle with it unless you're selling something so weird that it needs a special way of selling it, which I doubt very much. So I installed WooCommerce, I activated it, and it's gonna talk me through the process. So this is what it's gonna do. So if I click Let's Go, it's gonna ask me certain things. Yeah. So the first thing it's gonna do, and just read this. Yeah, that's what I would say. Read it. So it's going to set it up basically. It's going to add all the pages on it I need to add. It's going to ask me where I am. It's just going to ask me the questions, and you should know this stuff. Yeah, shipping. If you're doing small stuff, put it in gram. It's very straightforward. Payments. What you're going to pay, and these are the ones out of the box. Yeah, fill those in and stuff. Click continue. Theme. Right. So this is the second kind of thing we're going to put in. We're going to put the storefront theme in. And the storefront theme is like plugins. WordPress has themes, and that makes it that it look different. WooCommerce has its own theme. Okay, so I'm going to install and activate storefront. Now it says my store's ready. Oh my god, my store's ready. Right. So from this point, you can watch the guided tours, which I suggest you would do. Or you can click create my first product, or you can just go back to the WordPress dashboard. So here's the product. This is where you start creating. I'm not going to go into this because this is next level stuff. But this is the first product. So you'd put the name, the description, how much it cost, put an image in here, click publish, and that'll be your first product published. Let's see if I can do it quickly. Product, my product. I'm going to charge you £50 for it. I'm going to set the product image. I've got no files here. Select files. You all know how this kind of stuff works. Don't like any of this. I'm just doing a sample, but I don't like any of the pictures. Why am I doing that? Let's do this one. I think this is the Worcestershire and Sherwood of Foresters. You like that? Set the product image. Publish. So let's go back to my site and refresh this and see what it's done. Okay, so it's changed. It's like if I go to the shop on this, you should hopefully see, fingers crossed, there's my product. I'm not sure how long that took, but it wasn't long. Okay, there's my product. So that is, I suppose, if I'm honest with you, out of the box, you'll need a bit of help to get it to look good, or you'll have to fiddle about with it to look good. But what this will do for £10.80, it will show you the steps involved in having to create your site, because it'll ask you questions. You know, when you go through the process of, you can use PayPal and put PayPal as if you're doing a test system, and then work through the thing and see, right, I needed to do that, and now I need to post it, so you can go through the stuff. And that I've spent £10.80 and half an hour of my time. I hope it was half an hour. There you go. Enjoy.